Good morning, everybody. We're going to go and have a look at the Boreal 47.2. The reason it's 0.2 is because this is the second version of the original 47. You may or may not know, Boreal are built in the north of France. They're a fully aluminium exploration monohull sailing boat. They will be announcing the brand new and showing it to the brand new 70-footer at the Annapolis Boat Show. As you all know, we're not going to be there this year, but go and check it out. So okay, this one's set up with flexi-teak. It's the only option you get for deck topping. It's not bad. Unlike teak, there's no real maintenance to this. You've just got to brush it off. It's non-slip, you know, pretty good option to stick on the box. Large transom, and you see underneath you've got a spot there for your bathing ladder, and then a step up and in. There is no arch on this particular boat, but I know that they can be fitted out with a solar arch. I'll give you a pano while we're talking about this boat. So the owners on this one have set up you can see they have a wind vane, so you can have a solar arch. 14.4 meters long and 4.4 on the beams. I think that's quite nice for the Boreal, is that beam is actually carried all the way aft. In both of your helms you have access to a very large storage area and access to services. Just forward there you will see your watertight bulkhead. You can see the main ribs of the aluminium construction here and access the steering. So you have one bulkhead here, one watertight bulkhead forward, nice and safe, and oodles of room for all your toys or compressor for dive gear. Keep your dive bottles, other bits and pieces. As you can see, you've got access on your starboard side, and there is for your life raft. Something to pop in there. Really nice. Pedestal, which is really nice. It's something, you know, and I'll always go on this with sail handling. You'll see from the side in a minute how everything comes back to your cassette of clutches. They've got it set up so you have one main 66 self-tailing electric winch centrally, so you know all your main sheet and everything else can be handled from this winch. And then behind, if you have a Genoa code 0, so this is mirrored on the port helm, be run behind on Lumar 60s. I should imagine there's an option to have that electric if you want. I don't think it's massively important. And then directly behind the helm there's a Lumar, I think it's a 70 self-tailing. I'll check that out in a minute. No, it's a 65. You're on the hill, both starboard and port. You lift the section up here so you can at least keep a flat footing, and then just underneath there's a really handy hidey hole for all your tail ends. Just nice to keep the boat clean. Great pedestals, great handheld. You can set these up, you'll see on the port helm in a minute, but you can set these up pretty much how you want. Have your repeaters, autopilot and so on. So this got set up autopilot. You know, you can put what you want, what sort of navigation gear. It is an overview. So non-slip, running all the way forward. If you're not familiar with Boreal, we came around one last year. I'll leave a link to that up in the corner here. Go and have a look at that once you finish this, or if you're going to be in Annapolis, because I know a lot of you are this year. As I said, go and have a look at their brand new 70. Something that's quite nice, Boreal, we'll see when we get in, is their pilot house, and you've got some really good grab holes coming forward, and then real estate for your solar panels up above. Handholds running all the way forward, and then you've got your Lumar Genoa tracks. There's a lot of companies now just using single tracks, access in and out to the marina, both starboard and port. And you have inboard, outboard shrouds. Forward, I want you, before we get all the way up to the bow, I actually want you to see the curve. on the deck on actually how they've got that curved. It's a really, really nice curved deck. It's great for displacing any water that comes over the top. A lot of modern production yachts have lost that purely so that they can have a nice big sunbed and comfort. Granny bars either side of the mast. Now, all your lines, sheets, halyards, whatever you want to call them, because we know we always have discussions about this in the comments. You can see down to Selden blocks all the way along, and then you've got a deck management system, and they run through underneath where the track is, through an aluminium sleeve and then into the cockpit. They are not flush hatches. Being an expedition or a blue water cruiser, I'll get the camera down here, you can see they're all lipped up. So Alubat do the same, and their forward hatch on the Alubat is actually higher up and more protected, which makes a lot more sense. So, you know, it prevents water, it allows for that water to run off and actually not leak into your well, basically into your boat, into your cabins. There are safety points, hook-on points all over, and you can put spare halyards on them if you wish. And then we're just going to come forward to the business end. So an integral double barrel roller, and then a manual furler forward for your genoa, and a manual furler here for your jib. We'll go again to the anchor locker. I will give you that all-important look aft. So twin spreader mast. It's actually quite a small rig for this size boat. The specs for your sail size and plan will be coming across the screen now. So you have crash zone at the bow there, so impact zone. Plenty of space for spare sails, you know, mooring lines, etc, etc. And then just here by the ladder, this is your watertight bulkhead. Nice big space. So as you can see, you have your Furuno navigation, and they'll use the same, and big shipping use the same. They're very, very reliable. Autopilot and multifunctional display. And you can see, if I come over, so through here, this was actually your line. So coming back from the mast forward, you might be able to see the tracks a little bit. Just coming back, and there's your deck management system underneath, bringing your halyards and sheets, and just by the seat here. So if you're running, and then once again, and this was repeated over on the starboard helm, you have your bank of clutches here, and a box for your tail ends, all nice and tidy. This is your principal helm, so your throttle controls are here. These are fitted out as standard with a 57 horsepower Yamaha or Volvo Penta, depending on your choice, and they do have an upgrade to a 75 horsepower. You know me, I'd always say get a bigger engine. If that's one option you're going to choose, always choose more power. Really nice little handy spots. Table for 6. We'll get into the business end in a minute and have a look at this pilot house, and then there is storage within the table. Something Boreal have always been famous for. It's probably their main USP. They're sheltered on passage, and then you would go through and you would actually do your watch through here in the pilot house. It's one of the things that sets these apart, say, from other boats like Garcia and so on. Coming in, you have a step down, and these have 2 very large drain holes, so that if you do get any washover, you know, there's no issue. And you actually have a watertight ceiling door. If I step back a bit, you'll be able to see that. So you can fully close the door, especially when you're in northern latitudes, going up into the Arctic circles. Fully insulated, closed door. I actually think this is a better system than what they have on the Garcia, but you know, that's just my opinion. And then where you need it, you have start stop, engine start stop. A nice thing with Boreal, which is their USP, and I shall get in here, is their pilot house. So you have a full view, 360-degree view all the way around of all the management systems, what's going on within the boat. And then up above my head, if you want to have a look at the mainsail, see what's going on, there's an opening hatch up here so you can get air in. It's just, this has always been the thing that's well thought out, and these owners have actually had a large digital, well, it's a Samsung TV screen in here, so you can have all your navigation stuff here. You can use it as a computer because most of us have satellite on the boats now. You've got your main lights and switches that you need out here, so as you can see you've got your navigation lights, anchor lights and so on. And then just to my left you have your VHF radio, your autopilot and repeater, and your AIS and satellite. The only thing I would do if I had the option is I'd actually have a Lumar set, windlass, you know, anchor chain counter and control, so that if you wanted to you could do that from there, and maybe an electronic throttle control. Whether you need it or not I don't know, but it's just one of those things. So 4 steps down into your cabin area, and what we'll do as they're busy is we'll go aft. So directly on the starboard side by your companion you have a double bunk area, or this can be configured in a couple of ways. So you can have a workshop, a pilot berth, so this is set up pretty much as a pilot berth or a double, you know, like a kiddie's berth, almost bunks. So you can have a work table here, an area for spares underneath. As you can see, there is still a load of shelving for spares underneath, and then there's a load of storage underneath and access to mechanical departments, so like your generator and bits and pieces in here in the middle. I actually quite like this arrangement. If you're going on a long passage, I know you need your spares in that, but you want a pilot berth. I think this is perfect for that situation. You can see you've got all your hooks, your areas for leak loss, so it's going to keep you nicely in if you're on the top bunk. You have ventilation that goes into the cockpit and a really nice port light window outboard. And I won't open up all the cupboards, but you have a shelving locker here and a hanging locker here. And just if I stand up, because there's room for me to stand in this cabin, you have an opening hatch there. So the camera is just outside of the cabin, so you can see I'm 5'8", 5'9". So there's still a bit of space on my head. It's all padded and insulated. Something I like what they've done with it, isn't it? I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's the detail that's gone into the curving. It's ash veneer, and then you have solid timber all the way round. And the hinges have been nicely set in. You know, that's what you're paying for. Central heating, which, as I say, if you're going into the northern latitudes, is a bonus. And then in the floor you can see you've got access to the bilge as well. It's quite nice and tight too. Nice. I'm going to go all the way forward because they're actually busy talking with customers, so I don't want to get in the way. It's going to be a bit hickledy-pickledy inside today, but I apologise about that. Maybe with editing we can tidy it up. But you have a full semi-island king-size bed. Access to bilge and services on the floor, and once again I just love the way that they're curving everything off around here. Once again, radiator, central heating system, so it's, you know, a dry air system. It reduces pretty much most of the risk of condensation. 2 opening hatches up above, and you have your port lights. Yeah, it reduces the risk of condensation, and these are so well insulated anyway that you're not really having to worry about that. So in your owner's suite you have a fresh flush electric toilet. I'm pretty sure it's a Jabsco. And then a separate shower. There is plenty of room. I'll show you, get in the shower so you can see. There's plenty of room. Once again, I'm 5'8", 5'9". I think 6 foot, you know, if you're past 6'4", it might be, but you have a nice seat, which you would use if you were underweight anyway. It pops in up above there, and I'm pretty sure if you wanted a rain head shower, it can be arranged. These guys are pretty open now to that sort of thing. And we'll come out of here, back into your cabin. We will close that. So either side of the bed, so I'll only do this side. You have some lockers. Yeah, the woodwork's been done really, really nicely. And then behind the door you have a hanging locker and more storage underneath. And you'll see before we go out there, when we do the galley, you have a diesel heater, and these are the business. They're the absolute business. And even if you're in the Med over winter and you're complaining that it's too cold and so on, if you have the space in your boat, pop one in, because you're always going to have hot water. You can plumb in a couple of radiators, you're always going to have heating, and they cost very, very little to run. You can have a separate diesel tank if you wish. Really, really nice bit of kit. Stainless steel worktops, which is awesome. More and more manufacturers should be employing this. And this is the sink system. These are actually built and set up in France. So it's the only time I'd tolerate a single sink on a boat, because you have that tray system, so you can separate it off and have your trays in here and your oven trays and so on. Really, really superb bit of kit.
Qui nous semble bien et qui dénature pas le concept du bateau.
3-burner gimbal stove. You can have this as induction if you have the solar, and then there is plenty of storage either side, and grab handles up above. And a nice port light while you're cooking. On tiptoes I can see out, so you know, even the height for a drop down galley is really, really good. Dual stainless steel, so you know how you can set these up, so you can have fridge, freezer, set it up how you want. And then underneath here you'll have access, there's storage in here. I'll open one so you can see. Okay, this side they've got their electrics, do apologise about that. So main electric switches, and then wine storage, and then your keel box underneath. So with the centreboard all keeled down, your draft is 2.5 metres, and then with it up you have a draft of 1.05. So very, very shallow draft. So, access to your mechanical departments just under the companionway by your doghouse. As you can see, a couple of Raycol filters, fuel filters, salt water strainer. As I said, if you can, on an upgrade, always go for the upgraded engine. You might not believe it, but sometimes you just come to the position where you need that extra power. You really, really want it. And for charging your batteries and that, it's just going to be quicker and more fuel efficient. This is actually a shaft driven, which is awesome. If you want to know, again, I know I said it earlier, but as standard it's a 57 horsepower engine, and for an upgrade it's 75 horsepower. I would just put the 75 lump in. I'm going to come aft quickly. So this is your second cabin on the port side. So there's a nice double, plenty of storage either side, and then once again you can split it into two with lee cloth. So I know some, you know, people, oh, well, don't use the aft cabin. If you can have a lee cloth or a lee board in the middle, then, you know, if you're, even if you've got to share the bunk with somebody you don't know very well, at least it gives you that separation. And then whatever tack you're on, you've got a lee board or a lee cloth to lean up against. Radiator, access to mechanical department, and then as they're busy I won't show you their faces, but I'll find an image of the saloon at some time. Very, very quick tour. Really apologise about that. If you have any questions, please let me know and put them in the comments below.
Hi guys. Hi guys, we're here on the Amal stand at the end of the Grand Pavois La Rochelle Boat Show this year, 2024. And we just wanted to keep you updated with our projects, because this channel, as you know, started all off with during the first COVID 2020 with hunting for our boat. And so the project is still ongoing, as you know. We're looking at these boats for the last 4 years. And just to recap, we're now going to be going to the next stage. We're moving forward. So we're finishing our house, which we bought as a ruin in 2004 here in France.
It's a 16th century.
1600s the house was built. So we've done most of the work, but there's still finishing off to be done.
No, it's older than that, 1500s. It's 400. It's over 450 years old. So yeah, around 1550 the house was built. We've spent on and off 18-20 years rebuilding it and modernising it, but it's what they call over here in France is a bâtiment France. So we had lots of restrictions of what we can and can't do.
Listed.
And for us too, whether they were financial, we were building businesses or doing other stuff at the same time, or just having fun travelling around the world. We do have a but we're not 100%. But either way, we're finishing the house. So the idea is we will continue to upload weekly or fortnightly boat videos, whether they're test sails or walkarounds or factory tours. And at the same time, as we're finishing the house to a certain level, I'm going to post basically what I do, because a lot of you ask what I do for a living too when I'm not doing this. So you'll actually get to understand what I do, and you know, the sort of building companies I used to work with, and building teams I ran, and sort of so on. So if you find it interesting, great. I'm going to be posting the videos anyway. If you don't find them interesting, I don't really care. You'll still get your boat videos. Let us know in the comments below what do you think, and if you want to know more about the project, who we're going to be working with, whether we're getting finance, what sort of boat we're buying, what we're doing. We're actually setting up a Patreon channel, so on the next video we put up, we'll have the link to the Patreon channel and so on. It's not that we're making exclusive, it's just that, you know, you're going to get an insight into our lives. You're going to know more about our daughter, more about our family, more about our history and everything that we do. And you know, it's quite a private thing. So you know, you can come along and join the community. And yeah, you know, we were supposed to keep this short, but it's, you know, going on.
You're nattering on again.
Well, I can't help it. I open my mouth and stuff just comes out, you know.
Anyway, you got the opportunity there. If you want to follow us with flipping the house, finishing the works, you want to be interested in all of that, we'll send you the link in the next video, as he said, so you can follow us, and you'll still get your weekly fix of boat visits and sailing, everything related with the boats. So thank you for watching.
Yeah, we could actually say we've got a load of stuff coming up. So we're probably going to be doing a factory tour with Boreal. We're going to be doing a factory tour with Meta. We're going to be doing a factory tour with a company that does interiors and bespoke boats as well.
Oh, that wooden boat we saw earlier too.
There's an Italian architect that just builds phenomenal wooden boats. There's all sorts of stuff. We've got test sail with Amel on the Amel 60 either in November or December. We've got a factory tour with Amel, because now they've got two sites, 2 offices. There is just loads and loads of stuff going, and we're not going to be at Annapolis this year, really sorry, but we are going to be at Boot Dusseldorf, Blur. So on our Patreon, I think we're going to organise a meeting at the Boot Dusseldorf Boat Show in January, and that's it. That's, you know.
And then next year kicking off, we've already got booked in 1 or 2 sea trials, notably the
Nautilus 48
and the Alubat OVNI 490 next spring. So watch this space.
The new XS 14. yeah, so loads and loads. Yeah, that's it. We've got to stop because otherwise we're just going to talk all night and then
I'll let these guys go.
we won't have time to have a drink with Antoine. So
Thanks for watching, guys.
yeah,
Take care.
see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. Oh, does it?